Ladies and gentlemen,
Someone says, what's the future? Vaughn Coleman.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome. What's going on, guys? Hope all's doing well. So we're talking Battle Beast, which real quick. I mean, I have never had an experience like this in the comic shop where I called them and I remember them going, I couldn't make it to work that Wednesday, and I remember going, oh, Battle Beast, is that like, can you guys hold on to a copy for that? They're like, we can't hold on to a copy this hot. A book this hot now. I'm like, what do you mean? I have never had that before, ever.
I remember seeing stuff like that. But Kayla, was it like that at your shop?
So I would say no, because my boss overorders.
Okay.
Larry overorders everything, and he wants to get every single cover. He wants the exclusive covers too. So, I mean, getting one of the 1 in 25s or 1 in 50s, things like that were harder to find. But as far as the regular copy, we have plenty of them.
Well, Vaughn, that's a new experience for you. But what I will say is, as a youngster, you can at least go on eBay now, and you may overpay.
Yeah.
You can get it. Whereas
when the second printing is coming out too, Google.
There's that too. But so my first experience with that was back in '86, where I got the Dark Knight Returns 1, and then I was like waiting. And I went in as the first Saturday I could. I ran in to get the Dark Knight Returns issue 2, and it was not on the shelf. It was up on the wall with a price tag for $20. And my little teenage heart broke. I'm like, this isn't fair. This isn't fair. And obviously, eventually there was a second printing. But that could have been you, young man.
That happened. If I miss an issue, I'm like, all right, well, I'll pay I'll read it online. But now it's Global Comics. I read it on Global Comics, so I didn't have to feel bad about it, because it was like, I'm paying for the subscription. They're getting probably 3 cents in revenue. So that was good. But no, I mean, I did read it on there, and I really liked it. I think at that point I'd started reading Invincible also on Global Comics. And so I had seen the first 3 seasons of the show, and I had started reading the comics. So I was past that point where Battle Beast initially shows up, but I wasn't where he makes his return. And I think by the end of the 6 months, I was now past that. So it's interesting now seeing it kind of catching up. But in terms of Battle Beast, so far, it's been pretty comic accurate. I mean, for all 2 seconds, he would have been in the show so far, But I mean, I think it's a good idea. And I'm curious, why do you guys think this one sold so well? Like this particular comic?
Oh, Kayla, you go first.
Do you want me to go first?
Yeah.
I mean, Battle Beast is a really compelling character. He's extremely compelling, and I think people want to know more about him. So on the outside, yes, he seems like he's ruthless and sadistic, but he has a really strict moral code of honor. I mean, people will also say that, yes, absolutely. Absolutely. I don't know how you can say that. Like,
I didn't say anything. I said,
it's very rigid, I mean, plus, think about it. He refuses to kill like insects.
Did he? I forgot about that. I thought he was killing everything.
I don't know where you got to in Invincible, but pretty much it's the story of someone that is a warrior that is tired. They're tired and they're seeking their end. And there's something so poetic and beautiful in that. And if you've read Invincible, once you get to a certain point, you get the answer. And this is kind of filling in everything that happened in the meantime. So, I mean, there's a big gap from his appearance in 19 and then when he came back in 55, and he's just extremely compelling. And there's a lot of depth to him as a character. So. Yeah,
I think, Jason, over to you. Why do you think it sold so well?
Well, I think one thing is that as a character, when he's like a force of nature, and when he careens in the story, it's not a foregone conclusion which side he'll be on, right? Sometimes he's a hired mercenary. Other times he fights with Invincible and Omni-Man against the Viltrumites and things like that. So he's got that. People identify with that, not necessarily like a bounty hunter, but they identify with that strong character that could end up on either side. And then obviously the television series and the pitch perfect casting of Michael Dorn as the voice actor. It's just perfect. So when I read Battle Beast now, I totally hear his voice. It adds the experience. And then the other thing is that what's interesting about the Battle Beast comic book is we all want to know what is the journey that one takes to become a pelt.
Yeah.
Because obviously we know how his story ends.
Which I didn't know going into the ending of it. But
and I also want to know, and at some point I want to know where does that pelt end up at some point? Because I never see Mark Grayson wearing it, and I wonder
Thrag wearing it at the end.
Thrag was wearing it at the end.
He is. And my question is, okay, oh, you know what? I don't think he was wearing it during the battle. So I wonder if there's like a museum somewhere that has that fur on the wall. We'll find out.
I accidentally had that spoiled for like TikTok because I was so close to the end without getting it. It was like second best because he beat Batman. I'm like, God damn it! I didn't know that.
Because in my cartoon bubble, I see Otley Ryan Otley drawing or whatever, and he's got some scenes with Thrag with like a fur robe and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. And at some point, I'm sure like he must have said, "Oh my god, I got the next. How can I take this to 11?" And I'm sure in my cartoon bubble, he calls up Robert Kirkman, goes, I got an idea. We got to do this. Or maybe it was Robert Kirkman's idea, but it's one of those. The battle between Thrag and Battle Beast, it runs over. Kayla, is it run over like 4 issues or 5 issues where they cut back to it?
I believe. Yeah, I think it's 4 issues. I think so. It might be 5. I think it's 4 though, definitely. But it was good. It was good.
It is good, and that speaks to like how powerful that battle was, which is great because I don't think you could do that in mainstream comics. They probably wouldn't let you, but just the cutting back and forth as that battle's raging, and then as a trophy, he's got Battle Beast as a pelt.
Yeah, I think Battle Beast, he's such a side character that's interesting every time he shows up, and he's another character that I didn't realize how much I like until how excited I became seeing him for season 4. Is Space Racer is another one of those. Like he's so simple. It's a simple name, Space Racer, but he's literally just a guy on a scooter with a gun that and I just love him. I don't know what it is. Like he's so different from the other characters. I think that's how I feel about Battle Beast. I think that Battle Beast has such an allure to him because he's kind of, when he's there, he has a big presence, but it's never like, he's never taking over the scene in the sense that he's like overbearing, but he's there because you're like, I want to follow that guy, even if he's like in the background fighting some Viltrumites. And
that's why he needed his own series.
Yeah, no, I agree. I know. Was this Ryan Otley's like return? Had he ever done anything in Invincible for the past however many years since the series ended?
No, nothing in Invincible, but he did do this with Robert Kirkman during the COVID pencils down era. Have either come across this?
No,
I have came across that. I didn't buy it though.
Oh, you gotta hunt it down. So basically during because Ryan Otley was under contract for Marvel, and I think he was doing Spider-Man at the time during COVID. And so when they did pencils down, he and Robert Kirkman said, "Hey, let's do a comic that as if it was part of a series." And so this is Solid Blood issue 17. I think this is the last thing that's kind of like akin to Invincible they did prior to Battle Beast. I highly recommend hunting that down if you haven't read it yet.
It's 17. There's only 17.
It's only 17. It's like
bizarre.
It's wonderful. It's charming because it harkens back to that era where, as a comic book reader, you come into the Avengers with issue 79, you come into X-Men with 175, and there's a kind of a there's a sense of mystery and puzzle solving when you pick up a series midstream. mid-series. So I think they were trying to get like kind of capture that experience. It's a lot of fun.
It's cool. Yeah, I definitely I don't really do that, and I should. I always look out for trades or issue ones because I don't know, and maybe I shouldn't. Well, no, there's a few times I've done it, and sometimes I like it. So bats, yeah. I mean, I think one of the things I really like about this series right out the gate is how simple the setup is. Where it's like Kirkman is very good at just having like funny dialogue, but that gets to the point. Like where I love when it's like, you killed my crew that I was very attached to. I want to kill you. It's like, oh, I want to die. It's like, I guess our goals are aligned. Like, I love that.
I love the ship. Yeah, it's great.
The ship is great. Or it's like, oh, I'm so sorry that it launched you too early. It's my bad.
And Solaka is so weaselly and slimy. And in terms of just in terms of a plot vehicle to get him to go places, and because in a way, if you take Solaka, it's like the trope where the hero comes across a distressed or a stranded princess or whatever, or prince or basically dethroned royalty, and is like, hey, can you help me regain my throne? It takes that pitch, but completely kind of mixes it up, because he's so like he's so despicable and so conniving and slimy, and I think that adds also to that the idea that this is kind of like a little rogues gallery, because of like anti-heroes, and we're gonna mix them up and see where it goes. So I like Solaka too as a supporting character.
Yeah, it's fun. I think he's a lot of fun. I think I think the ending where it's like he finally gets his legs back just immediately is so good. It's great. I think the opening too, where he's like in the nail is solid. He kills like the strongest. Then I like the second issue a lot too, where he does the tournament and he just completely obliterates everyone in the tournament, because it's almost like the fighting is consistently interesting, but it's like Battle Beast, you want him to have this fight and you want it to kind of go on longer. It's a weird thing, because you don't want him to die, but you want him to have a challenge. It's such a weird subversion of so many elements, and it works. It all works. That's the thing.
I think there's a sadness to him.
Yeah.
I think there's truly like a sadness to his character. I think there's a lot of depth to him. And I think the action, a lot of people don't see past that. But pretty much it's like he's living his life and he's been cursed his whole entire life. And death is the only thing that can bring him peace.
Right.
He also doesn't view himself as a hero at all by any means. But I mean, look at his home planet. It turned into a utopia after he took out all of the enemies and left. So even when you're seeing like in that tournament scene, pretty much how he's taking out everyone, you see people, they're starting to love him, not just fear him, they're loving him. So he's becoming a hero.
Yeah, and he doesn't really necessarily want to be. He wants to die. He wants it all to end. And it's like Kirkman, it's weird because he doesn't spend these times really. The character's not really going to monologue. He's just kind of going to speak quickly and matter-of-factly. And it's like there's a lot more under the surface. And I think that's it's just such a great setup for a series. Like even just that first issue, I'm like, that is such a good, like whether he wants to kill him, he has this, then he has the guy he's helping out. I'm surprised that he I forget his name, lasted as long as he did. The supporting character. I thought for sure Battle Beast was going to kill him by like issue 3 or 4.
But he's weak.
Right. That's what. But I thought Battle Beast seems to have or like that he'll die comedically, and he's still alive, which is surprising. I think in terms of the villain, I'm so far not that interested with the sister. But it's like it's serviceable enough to me. But seeing the Viltrumites is interesting. I've kind of been on this. Do you guys think Thrag is that interesting of a villain? Like, how do you guys feel about Thrag?
I think he's a good counterpart to Battle Beast in an
Thrag?
aspect. Yep.
How so?
I think that he also carries something about pride within himself as well. He's kind of a little bit self-serving in an aspect as well too. It's not necessarily like for the greater good, but it's for what he believes in. Battle Beast is kind of like that too. He's not trying to serve the greater good. He's doing for himself. So I think it makes sense.
Yeah. I mean, I think with Battle Beast, one of the things I like about the character is, again, just the simplicity of it. But then I'm curious where they're going to go with the Viltrumites, because they didn't kill off the queen. Like, they had her run away. How do you guys feel about, I guess it's not really an ending, right? With volume 1. So
Yeah,
it's really weird to judge it because it doesn't feel like an ending. I was like, what?
With
You know
so
what, too? I was just thinking, like, Thrag is kind of, he's kind of like the ultimate like survivalist, you can say, in an aspect. Like everything he's had to overcome to survive, if you really think about it. And I guess like his morality is kind of, it's survival over morality in an
That's interesting.
aspect. And he also is like, he's a brute force. He uses a lot of violence. So I think it makes sense where Battle Beast is just kind of, he's like an addict for the violence in an aspect. He needs to keep fighting these people, and it's like a high he's getting off of it to kind of quench that curse that he has of being so bloodthirsty. So I think it kind of makes sense now that I'm really thinking about it. I think they counter, like a good counterpart to each other. I mean, plus I would say on the other hand, I mean, Battle Beast, he will kill a lot of people, but he won't go after people that are weaker to him. If you remember, he disembowels himself, I believe, to fight Thrag, so it would be fair. If he wasn't
that's
injured,
right. I forgot about that.
If he wasn't injured, right, then who knows what would have happened. I'm just saying, Thrag, on the other hand, he kills without hesitation. Battle Beast won't kill an insect because he knows he could kill an insect. It's not a challenge for him.
So Thrag, in my opinion, Thrag has an imperial mindset, where as he looks out, he's basically, is this a threat? Is that a threat? Is that a threat? And then I'm gonna do everything I can to stop it. My reading is that the reception of the first couple issues was so huge that this went from being a 6-issue series or whatever to, hey, they're gonna say, let's just keep this going. Let's ride this wave, which I'm very happy for them that the response was so strong, and that's what they're doing. So what makes the issue 6 interesting was that I don't know if it was originally going to end that way, but it basically ends in the standoff between the Juggernaut and Battle Beast, and then we're getting to Thrag, where he's like, okay, clearly I underestimated this planet, whatever the name is. I'm gonna send Conquest. So in the next arc, Conquest is going to be thrown into the mix, and that will be interesting to see which side, if he and Battle Beast are going to team up against the Juggernaut, or the Battle Beast is going to be like, no, this is my fight, get out of here, and so he starts fighting Conquest. So that will be interesting to see. But in terms of a cliffhanger, as it were, on the one hand, as the reader, we're like, he's somewhat in jeopardy because he's maybe like a little bit injured, and he's off in the forest, and the Juggernaut is licking her wounds. So it's a cliffhanger for us. But my question to you two is, do you think at the end of issue 6, Battle Beast is actually like excited and like he's injured and he's beat up, but you think he's finally, this is it. This is the true test, the true challenge. And maybe like as a reader, you would expect normally for a cliffhanger to be the characters are at a low ebb.
Yeah.
There's jeopardy. The odds are against them, and they're actually at a low point psychologically. but it's actually reversed. He's actually probably like kind of giddy.
Right.
That he's in such dire straits. What do you think?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, but I also feel like he was definitely. I feel like he was going to win that fight, though. I'd have to reread it, but that's how it read. Wasn't he going to like on the verge of winning?
She kind of effectively throws him. I mean, she basically, he's injured, but she basically throws him off into she basically casts him aside, and he goes flying like miles or whatever.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was a standoff. It was a standoff.
Yeah, it definitely ended in a draw. I think for him, he is probably at a high point. He's at a high point for two reasons. Because it's an actual challenge, yes. But also, it's a promise of him to finally have peace.
I think
he's looking to die. He is looking to die. That's the only way that he will have peace. And he feels that. He believes that. And deep down within, he kind of knows that. And we kind of, at the end of Invincible, did you finish all of Invincible, Vaughn?
Yes.
Okay,
Yeah.
so we know that he has a daughter, and she's born with the same curse that he has.
The wife was the weird alien chick, but he meets her after, right? He doesn't meet her until after the jail stuff, until after the Viltrumite War. So I'm trying to find because there is that one battle, obviously, where Conquest. Spoiler alert for Invincible, by the way. I think we've kind of covered that. We're in spoiler territory for the series, but one of the things is I'm trying to find it right now. So at the start of the Viltrumite War, there is Conquest goes up. Oh no, Battle Beast isn't in that first fight. So I'm just trying to see if if they ever really interacted, Conquest and Battle Beast. Did they?
I think so. When my recollection.
No, I don't think so. Because
I'm not sure, to be honest.
Oh, they didn't. They didn't.
Because when Battle Beast is on the side of Alan the Alien and the Coalition and all, they're going to defend Earth. They're going to try and keep the Viltrumites away from Earth. He's there, I think, but I don't recall Conquest being there.
Wait a minute. So, because we saw the Ragnars gave Conquest his scars and shit, right?
I'm drawing a blank.
The Ragnars didn't they give him the scars?
Not sure.
I can't remember right now, to be honest.
I'm pretty sure.
I think. But now I'm thinking when Viltrum is destroyed.
Yes, I found it in the comics. The Ragnars. So the Scourge virus weakened him. Then the Ragnars attacked him, and that's why he's missed. Because I was going to say maybe it was Battle Beast. No, it wasn't Battle Beast. But yeah, we never have seen these two characters interact.
Right.
That's exciting. I never thought about that.
Good choice.
Yeah, because Conquest is in the first stage of the Viltrumite War. They've like just left Earth. They haven't met up with Battle Beast yet. And again, Conquest shows up and dies while Battle Beast is over here. You never see them interact.
Do you think, I know this is going to sound weird, but do you think that there is symbolism in Battle Beast's design? The fact that he's a lion and that ties into his characteristic?
Yeah, I don't think it's deep symbolism. I think it's just kind of like, oh, he's a lion. He'll be lion-hearted. He'll be animalistic. I don't think it's anything necessarily deep, but I think it's cool. I think it's kind of a simple, let's make like a cool lion guy with a sword. And I think that's kind of where they just went with it. I think it's the same thing with Space Racer. He races through space. What do they call him? Space Racer. He's a beast that likes to battle. What do we call him? Battle Beast. He's not invincible, but he's pretty strong. All right, we'll call him invincible. He's immortal. What do we call him? Immortal.
But if you think about it, I mean, when you think of lions, right? You think of pride.
Mm-hmm.
You think of strength.
And also
you think of a lot of things, I think it's kind of, I think it's deeper than that. But then again, I'm a chick and I read deep into things. So
hang on, sorry. That's spreading fake news. This story did not happen. You're lying. I don't know what you're talking about. Anyway, continue. I'm sorry.
Well, Kayla, I think you're onto something, because when you look at his coloring, he's got the red, white, and blue coloring, those primary colors, which just at a surface level, that kind of indicates that you're a hero, right?
Mm-hmm.
You're clearly superior to everyone else.
He's mainly white.
Like everyone else, whatever country codes you have are vastly vastly inferior to the red, white, and blue.
Well, you got to
wanna say
think
that.
too. He's mainly white. His fur is white, right? Okay.
Now that's
and
not
white,
what I was applying, Kayla.
White is symbolic of purity. Okay. And so even though you would think he's like a very impure character and people may question his morality, I mean, he's looking for death, which would purify him. So I think there's a lot with it. I might have overthought a lot about that.
I mean, I think it's possible that some of that, but I think some of that might have come in after the fact. But I think when he's working on these monthly deadlines, I mean, is it possible? Of course. I think he probably wrote just like Battle Beast. Oh, dude, he'll be like a lion, but he'll be like have a sword.
But why a lion though? You know, why a lion? Why
he's a
specifically
beast.
a
King
lion?
of the jungle. King of the
You
jungle.
know?
King of the jungle.
I mean, you know what?
If he was a chimp, you'd argue that there's chimp symbolism. I'm just saying, it's not like I'm not discounting anything you're saying. I just don't think it's that deep. It's like, of course, the lion has lion symbology.
So side question on the topic of invincible supporting characters. Have either of you read any of the Tech Jacket comics?
I read the first 8 issues.
What did you think?
I thought my honest thoughts. I was like, okay, so this character has nothing to overcome at all. He's literally good at everything immediately. He gets his tech jacket and he beats the mob. He beats its entire hundreds of thousands of year war in 2 seconds. Then he comes back home for high school and gets the girl. There was no conflict in that series.
I haven't read it. So
I enjoyed it, but I'm being honest. I just was like, does he ever? Because like Invincible's getting the shit beaten out of him every issue, and then you have Tech Jack who's like, hey, I got it all, and that's it. And then the series ends. Like I'm like, oh, there's one final conflict in like issue 8. It's gonna go crazy, and he beats him in 2 seconds and kisses his girlfriend, and I'm like, oh.
All right, I'll put it lower on my reading list.
No, go ahead. Have you read it?
I got capes, and I think
it?
that's related to the Invincible universe. But
I like the Invincible universe. Guarding the Globe is in the Invincible universe stuff. Here's the thing: Tech Jacket is a fun read. It's a fun read, but it's not like you're not going to think about it really after because it's enjoyable, but it's like. I mean, it's kind of like early Invincible, I guess.
Okay.
So, like in that respect, like it's fun, but it's just my whole thing is I just don't think he struggles with anything as a character. But I think like I enjoyed it. I like Kirkman's dialogue and his characterizations and stuff, and I like the artwork. So I think the concept is cool. I just think it needed a rewrite.
I love Kirkman. A lot of people either love him or they hate him.
I had watched The Walking Dead
in between. Well, I loved The Walking Dead.
I would always Google stuff about the comics. I never actually read them, and now I should.
You really should. I think.
But I'm pissed though. Whether they did to my boy Glenn, I'm like.
Reading him different experience. I'll tell you that much. There are characters like going off of the show. There are characters you're going to love way more in the comic, and it's just, The Walking Dead is really all about Carl. And I'll leave it at that. So,
yeah, and that's why when that happened, when a certain character got bitten, I was like, oh, I'm not watching anymore. But no, okay, so wait, why? Have you read Tech Jacket, Jason?
No, I
assumed you had.
I'm just curious because I've read the Adam Eve Rex Explode miniseries. I've read some of the other stuff, but I
read the whole Invincible Universe Omnibus, which includes Adam Eve and Rex Explode, Guarding the Globe, volumes 1 and 2, and Invincible Universe. So I'd recommend all that. I would recommend reading Tech Jacket.
Okay.
I think it's fun.
Okay.
But I don't think any of it. The most underrated Invincible Universe character is Best Tiger, the guy with the blindfold. He's so cool. I love him. He's not even blind. He puts it on because he's too good at everything and he needs a challenge. He is the most underrated character. I love him. And Kaboomerang. He just has exploding boomerangs.
Kayla, in terms of the art on Battle Beast compared to the art on Invincible, Are you enjoying the Ryan Otley inking himself and having more time? What do you think?
I love it. I love everything about the art in it. I think Ryan Otley is showing that he's capable of doing like a lot more detail. If you look at some of the scenes, like when they land on the planet and everything, just like the jungle parts and everything, I really love the creature designs that he's showing, that he's doing. I like how he's inking himself. Everything looks more dynamic. It looks more alive. Everything is flowing really well. Invincible at times, some of the art could be flat. It's gory.
Yeah.
It's always gory, but some of it can be flat. Where there's a lot of dynamicism, and it kind of makes me think of like 90s Image comic books in a way. Some of the things in it, they're just really so far out there, like a modernized approach to that style of artwork.
Mm-hmm.
I love it, and I love the cartoony feel too that's intertwined in it. So it's
Otley has such a unique
gorgeous.
style, and
the colors are great too.
The colors are really good. That was one of the things I'm looking through the Invincible series is like the colors are so different in the first compendium versus the second. I forgot how different because I read it over a period. I forgot like how drastic the change is. It really is. Sorry.
No, that is interesting to read through the compendium, and every 5 or 6 issues, the coloring technique for the skin tones will change. Like they're trying different things to see what clicks, and that is it is interesting to kind of make note of that and use it as a just to study their trial and error and where they finally settled. But I like the fact that that both of them now are in a position where they love doing comics, and they don't need to do comics, but they love doing comics. And they've built now a scenario for themselves where I imagine they can do 6 issues, take 4 or 5 months off, do another 6 issues. I'm curious to see how far it will go, or if they'll move on to something else. Kayla, if Kirkman and Otley were to team up to do another Invincible supporting character or series, is there one that you'd like to see?
I kind of want to see them do Battle Beast's daughter, to be honest, because I want to know more about the curse. I want to know more about the curse. I want to know about like the psychological aspects of it. I want to get more inside the brain of somebody that's dealing with that. And I like depth. So I would want more depth in that. I'm trying to think. Yeah, I think that's what I would want. Because it would be a ton of action, but then there's a ton of opportunity to add so much depth. And really, like, they say it's a curse. Is it truly a curse? Is it, what? Tell me more about it. Tell me more about this suffering to the point that you literally, the only way that you can have peace is death. I want to know more about that, the impact that will have on you and how you're carrying it through your whole life. I think there is so much to explore with that in a lot of ways that could be done. Because it's pretty much, if you're born with this curse, did someone curse your family line? Was it something that was passed on? Is it something in the genetics? Like what is it? I want to know. Was there some like witch that did something to them on their planet? Like what, there's just so much that could go on. Are there other people that have this type of curse? Are there other races that have it out there? So, yeah.
Yeah, no, I mean, I think that's cool. I want to see like the whole thing. I feel like Thaddeus, the betrayer, like that whole, what happened back there. That would be really interesting to learn more about. Again, Space Racer, I'd love to see more of him.
You and Space Racer.
What's wrong with Space Racer? He's cool. I didn't realize how cool he was until I'm like, because his thing just like obliterates Viltrumites, and he just kind of shows up and never does much. But I don't know. I like him. He's a G. I think honestly, like I like the Viltrumites, but they have just the most generic grab bag powers is the thing.
Yeah.
And that works.
Do you,
What?
do you-
What about
do you-
Damien Darkblood? They did
He's
something on him.
goated. David, Adam Eve is good until after the Viltrumite War, where she makes a decision that did not make me happy.
Are you talking about with
And then-
Anissa?
I'm talking about Adam Eve. Anissa, that's another thing. Anissa takes no accountability for like the awful shit she does. She just
Well,
goes like, I'm kind of sorry, but not really.
I thought that showed like with Adam Eve, like she's an incredible person in an aspect
Wait,
because
why?
she wrote. She
No, I'm talking
did-
about what she did at the end of the
Oh,
Viltrumite
oh no,
War.
I was talking about with Anissa. I was
What did she
talking
do
about
with
that
Anissa?
what do you mean? She put her in a bubble and freaking protected her.
Yeah, and then she still died. So good job, Adam Eve.
But it doesn't matter after someone did something like that, and really, like, you have to think about how that.
They
really
don't. I'm
fucking
sorry. I gotta be real. They don't
relationship and
handle that,
everything.
in my opinion, all that well. Like Anissa does shit to Mark, and she's kind of like, "Well, I'm kind of sorry, but not really."
No,
and
no,
you're
and this is a
forgiven.
horrible person. I think. I'm sorry, but
so-
I'm saying it takes more strength to do the right thing.
Yeah,
And
but
she
that's
wrote that
not.
Adam Eve, her something about her.
So-
she could have just killed her.
So Anissa's arc, in my mind, more time could have been spent on it, but in my opinion, the arc is pretty good because she's a Viltrumite. She does something terrible to Mark, and then she's unrepentant. And then after, then when she becomes when they settle on the earth and she marries that guy, she begins to acclimate and become enculturated with the human experience, human culture, and then she begins to be kind of sheepish about what she did. And you can tell that she's pausing and she's being introspective and realizing, I can't believe I did this, but I was literally a different person. And in my mind, I mean, you could have spent more time, and she could have been more pronounced about, oh my God, I cannot believe who we were for centuries and centuries. In my mind, she's got a pretty good arc.
To me, and this is just my opinion, I kind of plowed through the ending, but I think that the last compendium is the roughest one by far to me.
Because of the time jumps and
the time jumps. I think a lot of the material is boring. I think a lot of it's really like, oh wow, we had to spend a whole issue on the breast milk. Really fascinating stuff. And then it's the show that struggles. Okay, did you need an entire issue dedicated to that?
Would you want them to do a new series focusing on Mark and Adam Eve's daughter?
No, not at all.
You're not curious to see her adventures?
No, I don't really care. To be honest, I don't. I think Invincible had such a perfect ending. Their daughter. Well, that's another thing. They had like 3 different children to split between in the ending. They had the Adam and Eve. Wait, first of all, they only had 1 child in hundreds of years. Are you kidding me? With all the amount of time they have sex in that series, and they have 1.
Well, you got to think
child.
him having hit that whole situation that happened to him and how he ends up finding out that he has another kid that had to, fuck some shit
but he
up.
got a couple hundred. Yeah, but even still, he still clearly gets around with Adam Eve. You're telling me that one time, like, he's got to have the best pullout game of all time. But he doesn't, though. Canonically, he doesn't, because we know that he impregnates her on accident early on in the story. So, no. It's a plot hole. We know that Mark's pullout game is canonically weak, based on the earlier issues of the series. What do you think, Jason? Is that true?
I never thought about that. I never thought about that. But
now
yeah,
that you
I
have.
can see what you're saying.
Yeah.
So can I ask for season 4, and maybe even season 5, Kayla, what plot lines are you for sure hoping they cover in the next season?
I'm behind on the Invincible show.
Oh, okay, got it. Okay.
Yeah, I'm behind on the show, to be honest. I haven't had time. But I read everything. So I'm always been more of like the book is better kind of person anyhow. So I got to the 2nd season of Invincible and started some of the 3rd, but I put it on at night and I will fall asleep to it.
Sure.
and then I don't know where I am, and then I have to go all the way back. So when I catch up, you can ask me that question, and I will let you know. I need a couple months. So
Kayla, what do you think of Mark's pullout game in the Invincible comics? Do you think it's good?
That's never crossed my mind.
Yeah, I hadn't until I just thought about it now. I'm like, it's pretty weak.
I don't even know what to say to that.
Well, actually, maybe it's not, because he goes hundreds of years without having another kid. So maybe he improves. Maybe that's his character arc, is he goes from having no pullout game to having the best pullout game.
I who thinks about that?
I do. I did just now. I had never thought about it before.
Yeah, Vaughn, I had no idea you channeled so much Kevin Smith. This is fascinating.
Oh, is it Kevin Smith? No, but all right.
You're very preoccupied with.
Well, I'm sorry. That's more interesting this is more interesting than anything that happens for about 20 issues toward the end of the comics. I'm just being honest.
I may have to read. I enjoyed it. The last.
It's slice of life. It's cringe. Well, when he goes back in time and relives everything, and then becomes a selfish piece of shit. And then he misses raising his. So the whole point is he goes off to this other planet to raise his daughter, right? And then he misses raising his daughter. And you're supposed to go, that's so tragic. That's so fucking dumb. That's dumb.
You don't.
I love this series, but I think this is my opinion. I think
there's
Invincible is like pretty good in the beginning. Then for like a solid like 80 issues, it is like great. And then right after issue 100 is when it goes.
Well, you don't think there was a purpose why that was done?
The purpose of what? Of why that was done?
Yeah.
I mean, look, you could do anything for a purpose. I could do. There's a film called Empire where it's by Andy Warhol. It's several hours of just the Empire State Building being filmed. That was done for a purpose. Does that make it not boring?
I'm saying, like, the whole situation with his daughter. You don't think the reason why that was done, that there is something, people that are reading the book, there's something to talk about family, in an aspect, or
I learned everything I need to know about families from Fast and the Furious.
I think that the time loop arc was interesting. I think it probably went too long. It probably should have just been like
okay. Like, why is this double page? Like, really?
You're on a monthly deadline. When you're on a monthly deadline, there's things you do.
It's for the comic simps to put on their wall. I don't. Someone out there, some woman's in love with.
But I'm saying, like, to go from the Viltrumite War to so the Viltrumite War folds like right into there's like the Dinosaurus stuff. Then there's like the Scourge virus. Then there's like the Flaxen saga. And then there's the finish of the Dinosaur stuff, like all back to back to back to back. Then Angstrom, who goes from one of my favorite villains. In my opinion, that final confrontation sucks. I'm sorry. I think it sucks. He's like, Adam Eve is basically like, you got to change. Sorry, we went totally off topic. but Adam Eve.
See what an Angstrom miniseries.
No, what I wanted was she basically goes, you should like stop being bad and stuff. And he's like, okay. And it's like, what? Like after 100 issues, she just basically tells him, stop being mean. And he's like, okay, I'll stop being mean. And then he stops being a villain. Are you fucking kidding me?
So here's, I'm going to share my opinion here. So one of the things with Invincible is that it's a huge canvas that allows Robert Kirkman to take a bunch of tropes and go, what if, right? Mm-hmm. And so the question, so you get these titanic battles, you get these dynastic power struggles, you get all these. What if a superhero became a sidekick to a bad guy because he thought the bad guy was good? I mean, you get all these what ifs. Some of them he knocks it out of the park. Some it doesn't quite work as well as you're going to do. But I say, thank goodness they try, they explore that territory, and you Von Coleman as a young writer, if you think Robert Kirkman tried something and didn't knock it out of the park, you should then say, you know what, I'm going to try. I'm going to try and knock it out of the park.
I don't knock everything. I don't think everything he did is bad. I like that. What I like about Robert Kirkman is he's always trying new things. And that's one of the things I think you bring up a good point, that he's trying to like the sidekick to the villain. I never thought about it that way. I don't think the dinosaur stuff is perfect, but it's ballsy. I respect that. But I think what happened was he goes, I've done this, and well, I'm going to keep doing this. And then he just has like a series of, in my opinion, unfortunate, he has a series of really good things. And then he has a series of really not as good things. But then the ending is so solid that it makes up for that. But I just that's how I feel personally. But yeah.
Very good. They're busting your chops in the chat.
What are they saying? Let me tell. All right, so they're mad at me because I like arts. By the way, Sal Buscema, rest in peace. He's known for many things, but he also created the character Cypher, his crowning achievement, in his career. I think
we did it. We did a tribute to Sal Buscema on the Friday nights this past Friday, and we looked at some of his strong long arcs, and I'm gonna deeply miss the guy.
Yeah. No, I got to read more of his stuff though. No, like he's great. Even his like New Mutants run, like because he was right between Bob McLeod and Sienkiewicz. Like his run is so good.
He had 2 solid runs on Captain America, and you can't go wrong with any of the Rom stuff. Yeah, the Hulk. His Hulk is my Hulk.
I mean, he had a good a 10-year run, an 8-year run on the Hulk.
It was 195 to 309. Yeah, and the Spectacular Spider-Man, that was a long run too. Yeah.
Okay, Buscema's in general, like they're just incredible. I mean, John is like he's my favorite.
Yeah.
Yeah, with back to Battle Beast, because I'm trying to think in the actual series, like I feel like he doesn't, like he's involved in a lot, but I feel like he doesn't do a ton, and that's fine. And I think that's part of why people wanted more of him. They wanted more. But like, I'm just shocked. I guess it's because the show had come out. Yeah, he's like the Boba.
He was the Boba Fett.
Battle Beast was the Boba Fett of Invincible.
He does significantly more than Boba Fett does, and he gets way more respectable of an out than Boba Fett does.
Absolutely.
I think it's a gap in his appearances. So was it 19, the first appearance, in 55, he came back. There's something that you can talk about within that gap. And then just because there's gaps in his appearances in Invincible, I think that, we got to see how it ends for him.
Mm-hmm.
And that was drawn out and everything. So there's gaps that could be filled. So that means that there's a possibility, or what if, or why wasn't he around in these issues after he appeared, and what happened, and why did they bring him back at this particular issue, and how did this go on? There's lots for them to fill in with him. So, and he just has a striking appearance that I think people are drawn to his appearance.
Definitely.
Yeah, I mean, I think overall, and I think this series is doing a good job. And how long is it going to go? Do we know?
No clue. I know 7's supposed to be coming out soon.
Yeah, I'm curious. Yeah, but I guess because I mean, really, I don't think any of us have anything bad to say about the series. Again, I need to brush up. I don't have anything like, oh, I did. But there's it's only been 6 issues, but it's been a really solid. Do we have a favorite issue? Because I think my favorite is still the Bounty Hunter, or not the Bounty Hunter, the tournament issue. The 2nd issue is still my favorite. Yeah, 2's still my favorite issue. It's the most fighting, and just it's just like, oh, that's because you know what I like about it is he does the tournament arc. To your point, where Kirkman is just doing a bunch of stuff. Like, it's one of the things I like about Invincible. It's very ambitious. Like, I'm trying to do a bunch of different kinds of stories too, right? Is with Phenomenova, but like he's trying to do different things. He has the tournament arc, except he's so good. The tournament has cool fights, but like nobody stands a chance against them. And so it's great. I'm trying to think of what other tropes they could do with Battle Beast as a character. I feel like there's a lot you could do. But ultimately, it could get.
He's definitely like a reluctant hero trope.
I think they'll subvert that, though. I don't think they play that straight up with someone like Battle Beast. Maybe. How do you think he's going to end up in the Viltrumite prison? Do you think he's going to be like friends with? I think he's going to fight Conquest probably a little bit. Something about the way Conquest handles this situation is what's going to cause him to be sent to Earth, because he's sent to Earth right after Battle Beast appears in Viltrumite prison. So I think the timelines are going to line up.
That jives.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have any predictions, Mr. Invincible? You've read it 3 times this series?
Mm-hmm. Yep, 3 times. I'm gonna say I don't know. I don't know. I think that I think they're going to look at the response from the readers, and I imagine if the response to 7 through 12 is strong, they'll probably do 13 through 18. I would imagine, And because I think it lends itself to, you could do a hired mercenary story. You could do a story where people are sent to hunt him down because he's causing so much havoc. I think there's a lot they could do before it gets stale, right? Before it gets stale, but we'll see what the next 6 issues are.
I mean, will he end up in a cosmic nail of some sort?
Could be.
Battle Beast?
I mean, yeah. I mean, pretty much. Wasn't Juggernaut like demanding that they make another cosmic nail to hold him?
Oh, good point. Yeah, she does say that.
So I mean, how would you get out that? And what's like? Okay, so you go in the cosmic nail. Is there anything else in there? Is it just vast emptiness? Is there something else in there?
Oh yeah, I guess I didn't think about the implications. I'm like, oh, it's just the nail. So yeah, I mean, there's tons they could go, or they could just kill her in 2 seconds. It could go either way. Because I wouldn't be that surprised if it's like, okay, kills her, and then now we have a different thing. But that's probably not where they're gonna go. But I'm intrigued. I'm interested, and I'm having fun with this so far. I am curious. I don't think it's gonna run anywhere near Invincible, obviously. But
I mean, do you think him and Thrag might fight again? Too, or might fight like it'll be like a previous fight?
Like there's no reason to say they haven't, I guess, but I think the nature of those two characters is here. Part of why I say no is because so we know Battle Beast. Oh wait, this is another thing. When Battle Beast, who put him on the Viltrumite prison? Because he's excited for the chance to fight Viltrumites. I feel like if he's already fought Thrag, he'd be like, get out of the way. Like, he wouldn't really be interested. I think Conquest, this is Kirkman saying, hey, these two characters would be cool. Battle Beast, Conquest, like even just their names, they never got to fight. Let's do something. And that's what I think. Ultimately. But I'm curious, like, because I think Battle Beast would kill Conquest in a fight. So,
I mean, he would have to kill him. Is there anyone Battle Beast has ever fought that they're just alive? That he wouldn't go back and finish the job.
Mark Grayson.
That's Invincible. True, but he also that Mark was kind of weaker than him.
Oh, so maybe that's why Conquest is picking on Mark. This guy got to at least be stronger than the last guy that he beat. All right, that could be interesting, actually. So I basically, closing thoughts, I like it a lot. I think it's a great series. I love Invincible. I could keep talking about that forever. I really enjoy it. I do genuinely. That's up there in I'd say that, the Claremont X-Men run. Reading through New Teen Titans right now. I'm loving that.
Nice.
Are probably my favorites. But overall, this was probably my favorite series of last year, I'd have to think.
For me, it was.
I can't think of. I can't think of anything else that topped it.
So, I think for me, my favorite series is actually Sacrificers, just because the way that it's written, and I'm a really big fan of Rick Remender's writing. I mean, at first I didn't want to buy it because I thought it was like a furry book because of the artwork on it. It was like, it looked like some bird, and I wasn't too sure. But then I started reading it and I was like, oh, this is not what I thought it was all. And
is it still a furry book though? Or is it a good furry book, or is it not a furry book?
I don't know. Would be considered a furry book if one of the characters is a blue jay? I don't know.
Like, I think there'd be a feathery book, I think.
Porn or something, like something that shouldn't be around anywhere in a comic shop, to be honest. So that, to me, that is my favorite comic book of last year because I find it the best written. I think it's absolutely beautiful. As far as a comic book that's doesn't make me think as much, because Sacrificers makes me think. Not that I didn't think about Battle Beast, because I have, but Battle Beast is more mindless entertainment in an aspect. I can say it's very action oriented. It's nonstop action. So I will say it's up there for that. I also liked Blood and Thunder. I thought that was such a cool concept. One of the issues was kind of meh, but I really like the concept of that book. But that's another one that's out through Skybound. There's quite a few books I actually will say that I've enjoyed. So I don't know, but Battle Beast was probably, for what it is, it's my favorite type of comic of that particular style and genre, as in just like mindless action. But for something that it's more story driven, it's Sacrificers. It has more of a story to it.
I'll have to check it out.
I avoided reading it.
The recommendation.
Phenomenova is pretty good.
So, I mean, if you like Seven to Eternity, if you like things like Black Science, if you like anything that Rick Remender has written, Sacrifices is definitely worth it. The art for me was what kind of kept me away from it, because I judged it, and I judged it hardcore based on the covers that I saw, and I thought, I'm not gonna, what is Rick Remender writing? But then I read it and I was captivated by it and I was enthralled, and man, he's just so good at making you think about things on a moral level, you can say, deeply, and it's moving. It's extremely moving, and it's touching. So
thank you for the recommendation. I will have to check that out.
You'll
I'll
like
check that out too. You know, you guys should check out Jupiter issue 2 by Jason Sandberg. Tell everyone about it.
So if this was the Legion of Superheroes, my name would be Grateful Lad, because I am so grateful. We're approaching, we're coming up on 120 pre-launch follow signups. We're like 113 now. So thank you to everybody that's followed the campaign so far. This is obviously the second issue. And Jupiter is the other kind of OMAC. It's a one-man anthology comic. So I'm going to continue the main story of Brenda and her journey to become her world's first, only, and greatest superhero. But because it's now going to be 60 pages, because I feel bad. I feel bad that due to my day job, this will be published 3 years after the first issue. So I really have to give people I got to give more pages because I feel bad that it's been delayed. So it's going to be 60 pages, full color, and it will be launching probably at the end of Q2. So probably like May, June of this year. And the book is about 90% done. Greatly looking forward to starting to share some of the finished work. I'll be sharing that in the weeks and months to come. And pretty soon I'll be putting together the trailers to support the campaign. If you like Jack Kirby, Mobius, Robert Crumb, Scott McCloud, if you put all that into a blender, a little bit of John Byrne, a little bit of John Romita, a little bit of John Buscema, Sal Buscema, if you put that all in a blender, I think you're going to get Jupiter. I think you're going to enjoy it. Kayla, she was kind enough to order the retailer tier for her comic book shop. So thank you, Kayla, for helping me connect with new readers. I greatly appreciate that.
Of course. I always going to support my people, you know. And people that are writing or drawing something, you create these books, and the purpose of creating them is so that they get read. So as long as I'm affiliated with the comic shop, I'm going to do whatever I can to help get these in the hands of other people. So I know people really, I found that your book sold more when I flipped it to the Captain Klein bottle side. It's like people loved that.
Okay. Well, I've got good news, because in issue 2, the Captain Klein bottle vignette is like 10 pages. So it's a heftier
awesome
dose of Captain Klein bottle. So for those who haven't read issue 1, Captain Klein bottle is my Jack Kirby character from Jupiter. So in the world of Jupiter, there aren't superheroes, but there's superhero comic books. And one of those comic books is Captain Klein bottle. And the backstory of Captain Klein bottle is, in the world of Jupiter, when Jack Kirby and Joe Simon started mainline comics in the 1950s, they had a romance comic, a war comic, a true crime comic, and a Western comic. In the world of Jupiter, mainline comics didn't have distribution issues. So Jack Kirby never had to go back to Marvel or DC. So in the world of Jupiter, Jack Kirby, all the crazy ideas he had in the 1960s, 1970s that he effectively gave away for free to Marvel and DC, he published them in his own company. So he is Jack Kirby in the world of Jupiter is like a revered Walt Disney figure, where he's world famous and there's amusement parks and so forth. And Captain Kleinbottle is his kitchen sink superhero, where all the crazy ideas that were in the Avengers and the X-Men and so forth and the New Gods, it's all inside of Captain Kleinbottle. And thank you, Kayla, for that shout out. Greatly appreciate it.
Of course.
Yeah.
There's still a couple left at the shop too. So if you find yourself in Massachusetts, I'm on a Twitter break. I've been on an internet break for a while, and I probably will be continuing that through. Let's see. I might come back this week for a couple of days, but then I'll be off for another 40 days. Just need to. It's just so important to reset and reconnect with yourself. And so, I'm just
I should try that sometime.
Being off the internet for a while, it's good to just connect in with yourself, do whatever you need to do for yourself, for your mental well-being, for your physical health, get things in order in a way that you might not be able to with the distraction of the internet, and come back better, So, but you can definitely message me on my X. It's Queen Kayla Lisi, and we have them, so I'll let you know where we're located and everything if you're in Massachusetts. So otherwise, you might have some on your Jupiter too.
Yeah, there'll be a catch-up tier, and then the Jupiter issue 1 is still in demand on Indiegogo. So if you go to
I didn't know that. Sorry about that.
Yeah.
No, I'm sorry.
No problem. Yeah. So if you go to my Twitter, I've got my pinned. The first campaign is in demand. So it's available, but I will have a catch-up tier for issue 2, and then on issue 2 I'll make available the Jupiter Zero, which is the collection of my 1990s comics. So Jupiter was originally a black and white indie in the late 90s, ran 9 issues, and I took the best of those stories and I created this thing called Jupiter Zero. So people will be able to get some of my early work as well as the new stuff.
See, this screams Jack Kirby. This to me screams Jack Kirby in the best way.
Down to the way you do the eyes too.
It's a phenomenal story. It really is. Jason is a great writer, and the book is a quality book as far as how the book is made, how it's packaged. Even, when I was sent for the shop and everything, and obviously I took my own stuff, and he included a lot of little stuff like surprise stuff. He's very good to his backers. So I highly suggest everyone signs up. We need more anthology series, I feel. And I think anthologies are one of the hardest things to do.
Yeah. It was a strong medium for a while. You had like 8 Ball, and there were some other comics like 8 Ball where it was one creator that was doing, they were telling a bunch of different, they're telling their own stories, versus having different creators contributing. And I think it's good because as a creator, you're less likely to be bored, or if you have a good idea, you don't have to wait until the current project's done. And the other thing is that as a reader right now, there's too much decompressed storytelling. So it's wonderful to pick up a comic book and have a long story, but then have some 4-page stories and 1-page stories and 2-page stories. I think that's good. I think it's good. It's a better reading experience, I think, for people, because they're not stuck waiting too long for like the next installment of a continuing story. As important as those are.
It's true. It is true.
And then the other thing is that nowadays, with the changes that Indiegogo made back in October, you can now see how many people are signed up. So if you're a supporter of indie comics, even if you know that you're going to back a book, do a solid to the creator and sign up, because that means that as they're kind of spreading the word, as people who have not heard of them before, they go to the campaign, they see there's already several dozen people signed up. they're more likely themselves to sign up. So it really does help creators to sign up for a campaign, even if you know you're going to back anyway. It helps to get those numbers up.
That's true. I think in the aspect that people will assume that these are all people that have backed from you before, so they can see that number like, okay, so he's a trustworthy person I can get my book from. But also there's also a numbers game with it where people are more apt to back somebody that they believe is more popular. So seeing those sign up figures are a huge deal.
Yep.
Yeah.
Right.
If you're walking down the street and you want to get something to eat, and you see two restaurants and one has a
one's
line out the
empty.
door and one's empty, you're like, hey, do we want good food or fast food? I'm gonna go to the restaurant that's got a line out the door because that tells me that people know.
Right.
the food
Or it's
is
the
good.
same thing with Battle Beast. So many people are like, you need like months in advance. Like you got to make sure you're getting Battle Beast. You know. What?
Your face when you did that was so
What?
awesome. He was like, you need Battle Beast.
Yeah, I do have a great face. Now look, so anyway, anthologies, if you like anthologies, check this out. I got a horror anthology book called Reapers in Pursuit. This one's also on Indiegogo. So it is done by a bunch of people, actually. Bats, who's in the chat, he did a book for it. I did 5 stories for this and a poem. And it includes one story set in the Phenomenova universe featuring a character named Daymare, who is basically the anti-hero, one of the earliest characters I ever came up with. And I revisited and I was like, yeah, no, he's still cool. So imagine like Jason Voorhees mixed with like Ghost Rider, mixed with Nightcrawler, mixed with a little Punisher. That's kind of what you've got with Daymare. I wanted to do almost like a slasher story from the perspective of a getaway driver driving some criminals away from a violent anti-hero. So check that out. We also have
quick question. Can I get your opinion on both of you? Can I get your opinion on something? Was Jason Voorhees' mom the first Karen?
No, there was before 1980. Okay. I would imagine, right?
All right.
I can't imagine she was the first. Yeah, but so make sure to check that out. We also have a few other things. There's another comic book character I wanted to do, a bad girl character named Sanguine. She's going to be in this. The Highland Houndsman you can read for free. If you're like, I don't know if I trust this Vaughn Coleman's writing. Well, you can read it online. In fact, there's also an audio. Some YouTuber did an audio reading of the Highland Houndsman, and I'm going to be doing an in-depth live stream breaking down the Highland Houndsman as a story on Tuesday. I'm going to be releasing one of my other stories for free. If you subscribe, I have my channel memberships that are generic for $3 a month, but then I have the upgraded version, which will include like new content every month. And also you can get it on my website if you don't care about the channel stuff. So tons of great stuff, but Reapers in Pursuit is what I'm pushing now. Also Phenomenova issue 3 lettering revisions came from my editor. I'm going through them now. And that should be sent to the printer hopefully this week. Bancroft already began formatting everything except for once the letter page is in, I'm like, there you go. And we're off.
Exciting.
So, yeah.
You're off to a strong start for 2026.
Yeah, I mean, I'm digging in, I'm like, let's get all this stuff, a lot of the busy work done so we can get to the more fun stuff. And yeah. Kayla and I have been working on something. We got a whole bunch of things coming up. Kayla, anything you want to talk about?
Not really. I did announce my ash can for Crimson and Alabaster. So that is currently in limbo with being lettered. So Spencer is lettering it, but he just got a new computer and hasn't set it up, and he's been sick. So once he's feeling better and gets everything set up, then that will be getting letter. So I'm going to release a ash can. It's going to be black and white. It's going to be free. Padrino did the art for my story Crimson and Alabaster, and that should be available in June. So it's free. You only have to pay the cost of shipping. I think, and if you want more than one copy, you'll have to DM me to work that out. Like say you're affiliated with the shop. I will definitely take care of shops, but I'm only doing a limited print run. And right now I'm also discussing things with who is going to be printing it. So hopefully that will work out. And yeah, that's about that. I have some other things I can't announce right now. I have something I'm working on with Vaughn. I have something I'm working on with Zach and Vaughn as well.
That's
but they're not
busy year for me. Busy year for
and
me.
I got some other thing. I have some other thing. I just can't talk about anything right now. And I really wish that I could. Once the ash can is in the process of being lettered, I'll drop some more pages so you can see it. And yeah, I don't know really much to say because I can't talk much about it. If I could, then I would be talking, but hopefully that's enough.
Yeah, no, I'm excited for what we're working on. I'm bouncing between like 80 projects and going crazy, but I'm enjoying it. Also, I didn't even realize until you mentioned the Friday 13th reference that because I'm hoping to launch on Friday 13th. My Jason knockoff character is launching. That's crazy. Wow. Which, by the way, years of buildup.
It's all synchronicity.
I love the blue Doritos out now.
I had come out with the character
for Hojo,
having never seen Friday the 13th, and then when I finally was old enough to watch the Friday the 13th movies, I was like, oh, it was scary in my head, to be honest.
Well, so Friday the 13th, when I was
the
younger,
first 7 of them.
I think number 10, the number 10, I think is where it starts to get like fun, where they're like, let's just have fun with this. Citizen Ronin.
I think 6 was fun too, where he gets struck by lightning and comes back. He like flips over the RV.
Oh God, Citizen Ronin hates blue Doritos too.
He does. So Citizen Ronin, he was calling me out here, and he's like, I'm like, sorry, buddy. This is Vaughn's show. I didn't want to bring our beef into the show, but you called it out. So here.
I like both Doritos.
I thought you were trying to lure Hojo here.
No.
All right. Well, no, guys, thank you so much. Have a great rest of your night. When I was like, all right, I'm kind of relaxing, got like, oh, this needs your immediate attention. I'm like, all right.
For having me, Vaughn. I appreciate the invite, and it was really great to see you, Jason, as usual.
Absolutely.
So. Yeah. What was it, Jason? What were you asking?
Did the Zell? Did the Zell get bounced back on you?
No. That's no. This is a different thing. It was just something I gave feedback to an artist earlier. I'm like, oh, and then they're like, oh, so I'm like, I kind of like making deadlines. So sometimes that's the thing too. It's like there are times I've been off for like a couple like a day, and they're like, oh, I'm away for the weekend. I'm like, damn it. So I'm just trying to like rush. All right. That's awesome. See you guys. Peace out.
Thank you, buddy.
We call ourselves Phenomenova. Yesterday, the Stormbearers, a deadly group of mercenaries, took control of a nuclear reactor. Before we arrived on the scene, Galvanite, a superpowered teenage boy, attempted to stop them. He failed. His story ended there that day. Ours began shortly after. Today, I sift through the memories of that day. I will put the pieces together, and we will bring those responsible to justice.